In mere days, the world's most powerful nations crumbled under the weight of the assault. Russia's famed defense systems were neutralized in hours, their nuclear arsenal deactivated before they could launch a single missile. China's formidable military was wiped out in a single sweep by the Drekkin's energy cannons, leaving cities flattened and populations enslaved. Europe followed swiftly. World leaders vanished, their forces evaporated like smoke. It was a coordinated, brutal attack, a scalpel to the heart of every nation. Humanity had no time to react. As the world reeled, the focus shifted west. The Drekkin began preparations to seize their final target, the America. General Sebastian Garcia watched from an underground command bunker as satellite feeds displayed Earth's devastation. His grim face betrayed no emotion, but within him burned a fire no alien could comprehend. Garcia, known among his men as Ironheart, had spent a lifetime preparing for war, but nothing could have readied him for this. His sharp blue eyes narrowed as the reports of Earth's collapse continued to flood in, showing nation after nation succumbing without resistance. "Sir," a voice broke the silence. "They're heading for us next." Sergeant Brian Thompson, the unit's tech specialist, stood beside him, rapidly scanning incoming data. Thin, wiry, and known for his genius with electronics, Thompson's hands flew over a holographic console. "They're mobilizing fast. Satellite tracking shows ships forming a blockade around the East Coast. They think we're like the rest of the world," Garcia said coldly. "That'll be their first mistake." The command center buzzed with tense energy as preparations were made. America's fate hung in the balance, but unlike the others, Garcia's forces were not paralyzed by fear. From bunkers beneath the Rockies, America's elite military prepared for the fight of their lives. These men, Captain Mike Donovan, a grizzled Marine with 3 tours in the different war zones, Lieutenant Jake Carter, a towering man who had never lost a close-quarters fight, and Sergeant Thompson, represented the last bastion of American resistance. "We've seen what they can do, but we've also seen what they can't," Garcia continued, his voice low but steady. "They don't know this land. They don't know us." Captain Donovan, scarred and battle-worn, stepped forward. His face, roughened by years of combat, remained unflinching. "Sir, with all due respect, we've been through hell before, but this is different. Those things tore through China and Europe like it was nothing." "It's different, Donovan," Garcia replied, meeting his gaze, "but they're fighting us now. We don't fold. We don't break." The weight of Garcia's words settled heavily over the room. The American forces were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had one thing the Drekkin didn't account for: human resolve. America, with its sprawling forests, treacherous mountains, and dense urban landscapes, was not an easy place to conquer. The land itself would fight back, and the soldiers knew it as well as their weapons. "They've made one critical error," Thompson said, his fingers still flying across the screen. "They're relying too much on their tech. I've hacked into some of their systems. They're overconfident. They don't think we're a threat." "They'll learn," Garcia said. "They always do." As the room buzzed with preparation, a quiet sense of unity settled in. The men knew what was coming. They had seen the destruction, heard the screams on the global comm channels, but they were still here, alive, fighting. Hours later, the first alien ship appeared on American radar, a monstrous craft. Its size rivaling a small city, hovered just beyond the East Coast. As it loomed, casting an ominous shadow over the Atlantic, General Garcia stood, eyes fixed on the holographic display. "They're here," Thompson said. The command center fell silent as everyone braced for the inevitable assault. But Garcia was calm. He looked at Donovan, Carter, Thompson, and the other soldiers around him. These men were ready to fight, to die if necessary, to defend their land. "All units, prepare for engagement," Garcia ordered. "This is not the world's battle anymore. This is ours." The alien ship descended slowly, arrogantly, as if it had already claimed victory. But as it touched the ground, the earth shook. not from the alien invasion, but from the roar of American tanks emerging from hidden bunkers, the shriek of fighter jets streaking through the sky, and the distant thunder of artillery. America was ready. Garcia's words echoed in their minds. They'll learn. The first wave of the assault was like nothing Captain Mike Donovan had ever seen. Alien ships darkened the sky, hovering above the eastern seaboard like a storm ready to break. Their energy cannons scorched the earth, leaving massive craters where American cities once stood. Yet the U.S. military did not retreat. From underground bases hidden in the forests, mountains, and deserts, they struck back. "Move, move!" Donovan shouted over the deafening roar of artillery. His voice cut through the chaos as a squad of Marines sprinted through the wreckage of what had once been a quiet coastal town. Smoke filled the air, and the smell of burning metal and ozone was thick. In the distance, alien war machines lumbered forward, enormous mechanical beasts supported by squadrons of drones. The Drekken thought they would break through easily, but America had other plans. Tanks hidden in bunkers rolled out across the terrain, their guns aimed squarely at the invaders. Donovan knew the odds weren't in their favor, but the U.S. military had prepared for this moment. Prepared for the moment the world would count them out. "Sir, we've got a lock on the alien artillery positions," Sergeant Brian Thompson called out. "Give me 30 seconds, and I can jam their targeting systems." Donovan glanced at Thompson, admiring the man's calm under fire. "You've got 15. We don't have time to wait around." As Thompson worked, Donovan led his men into cover. They crouched behind a crumbling wall, scanning the battlefield. Alien drones swooped overhead, their energy weapons sending bursts of blue light across the ground, vaporizing anything they touched. But the American forces were scattered, mobile, always moving, just as General Garcia had planned. The Drekken were used to fighting large, organized armies. They had no experience with the kind of hit-and-run tactics the American military had perfected. "They're arrogant," Donovan muttered, gripping his rifle tightly. "They think they can just roll over us like they did everyone else." "They haven't met us yet," Thompson replied without looking up. Seconds later, the alien artillery went dark. Thompson grinned. Systems jammed. "They're blind now." Donovan's radio crackled to life. "Donovan, this is General Garcia," a gravelly voice said. "We've got air support incoming, but you need to hold that position. Reinforcements are on their way." "Roger that, sir," Donovan replied. "We'll keep the bastards busy." He signaled to his squad. "All right, boys, let's make this hurt. Thompson, keep jamming their systems. Bull, get ready to light up those machines when they come through that pass." Lieutenant Jake Carter, a massive, hulking Marine with a reputation for destroying anything that crossed his path, nodded. He hefted a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher with ease, his expression grim but determined. "Don't worry, Cap. I've got this." The next few minutes were a blur of action. As the alien war machines lumbered closer, Carter launched his rockets, the missiles streaking through the sky before exploding in a brilliant flash against the alien armor. One machine stumbled, its legs buckling as fire consumed it. "Direct hit," Carter roared, pumping a fist in the air. But the aliens didn't stop. More war machines emerged from the smoke, and the ground shook with the force of their advance. Donovan's squad fell back, taking cover as blue energy beams seared the earth around them. "We can't hold this position much longer," Thompson yelled over the noise. Donovan knew they were being overwhelmed. The Drekken were throwing everything they had at the U.S. forces. But as he surveyed the battlefield, he also knew something else. The aliens were overcommitting. They were so focused on crushing the American resistance that they were exposing themselves to counterattack. He keyed his radio again. "General Garcia, they're pushing hard, but they're leaving their flanks open. Now's our chance." "Copy that, Donovan." Garcia's voice crackled back. "Air support is inbound. Get ready for fireworks." As if on cue, the sound of jets screamed through the sky. American F-22s, sleek and deadly, roared overhead, launching a volley of missiles at the alien forces below. Explosions rocked the battlefield, and the ground trembled beneath the fury of the attack. Donovan's men cheered as alien war machines toppled, their mechanical limbs torn apart by the blasts. The Drekken, caught off guard by the sudden counterattack, began to retreat, their forces scattering under the relentless assault. But Donovan wasn't finished yet. He signaled to his squad, "We're not letting them walk away. On me!" The Marines surged forward, taking advantage of the chaos. With their rifles blazing and grenades flying, they pushed the remaining alien forces back, forcing them to abandon their positions. "That's right," Carter yelled, his deep voice echoing across the battlefield. "Run, you bastards!" As the last of the Drekken ships lifted off, retreating into the sky, Donovan allowed himself a moment to breathe. They had held the line, for now. But as he looked up at the darkening horizon, he knew this wasn't over. The Drekken weren't done yet. They would come back, stronger and angrier than before. And when they did, America would be ready. The Drekken had underestimated humanity. Worse, they had underestimated America. From the alien warship high above the Earth, Commander Zorax watched the battlefield unfold with growing unease. The Americans had not crumbled as expected. Their cities had been bombed, their armies scattered. But these humans, these Americans, fought with a ferocity unlike anything the Drekken had ever encountered. "What is happening down there?" Zorax growled in his guttural alien tongue. His spindly fingers tightened around the command console, frustration flickering in his multi-lensed eyes. "Commander, their forces are using advanced terrain tactics and guerrilla warfare. Our units are unable to adapt," one of his subordinates replied, its voice trembling. "The humans, they are predators." Zorax hissed in disbelief. Predators? These creatures were supposed to be inferior, yet their resistance was proving to be more than just an inconvenience. It was an existential threat. For the first time, the Drekken feared defeat. On the ground, the battle raged. General Garcia's forces had pushed the invaders back to the brink. In the dense forests of the American heartland, Captain Donovan's squad moved silently through the underbrush, their movements calculated and deadly. Every American soldier knew the stakes. This wasn't just a war for territory. This was a fight for survival. Donovan signaled for his team to halt. The men crouched low, their weapons trained on the towering alien machines just beyond the clearing. Lieutenant Carter, holding a rocket launcher at the ready, gave a nod of understanding. They had only one shot to finish this. "All right, here's the plan," Donovan whispered. "Thompson, you disable their shields. Bull, you take out their legs. Once they're down, we move in and mop up the rest." Sergeant Thompson was already on it, his fingers flying across his portable hacking device. "I've almost got them. Just give me a few more seconds." The tension was electric. The alien machines, unaware of the Americans hiding just a few meters away, stomped through the forest, their blue energy shields humming with a dull resonance. In moments, those shields would fall. "Got it," Thompson whispered, his device blinking as the alien shield flickered out. "Now!" Donovan ordered. Carter wasted no time. The roar of his rocket launcher shattered the silence, and the missile streaked toward the nearest war machine. It struck its leg joint, and the alien beast collapsed in a heap of twisted metal and flame. The remaining machines scrambled, but they were too slow. Donovan's squad moved in with brutal efficiency, their rifles spitting fire as they tore through the Drekken ground forces. Amid the chaos, Donovan could feel it. This was more than just a victory in battle. This was the turning point in the war. From his command bunker in the Rockies, General Garcia watched the alien war machines fall one by one. A grim smile touched his lips. They had done it. After weeks of fighting, America had turned the tide. But Garcia knew it wasn't over. Not yet. All units, prepare for the final assault. He ordered into the comm, "We're going to finish this." As American forces mobilized for the final strike, Garcia studied the data coming in from Thompson's hack. The Drekken were beginning to fracture, their forces losing cohesion. Without their commanders on the ground, the aliens were struggling to maintain control. This was their weakness, and Garcia intended to exploit it. "Sir, we're detecting movement from the alien mothership," a young officer reported. Garcia's eyes narrowed. The mothership, the source of the Drekken command structure, was still hovering ominously in orbit, directing the invasion from above. If they could take it out, the rest of the alien forces would collapse. "Get me air support," Garcia barked. "We're taking that ship down." As F-22S and stealth bombers ascended into the sky, Donovan and his team regrouped, watching as the massive alien warship began to descend closer to the Earth. Its size dwarfed anything humanity had ever built, and its glowing energy core pulsed ominously. "Think they're retreating?" Carter asked, wiping sweat from his brow. Donovan shook his head. "No, they're getting desperate. This is their last move." Thompson, monitoring the alien signals, confirmed it. "They're trying to regroup, but their command network is in chaos. If we hit them hard now, we can finish this." General Garcia's voice crackled over the radio. "Donovan, the mothership is the key. We're going to hit it with everything we've got. Your team needs to take out the ground defenses. We can't let them protect that ship." "Roger that, sir," Donovan replied. He turned to his men. "You heard the general. Let's end this." The final battle was swift and brutal. American air and ground forces converged on the alien mothership, pounding it with relentless fire. Captain Donovan's squad weaved through the battlefield, taking out the remaining Drekken ground troops with ruthless precision. Sergeant Thompson's hacks continued to disrupt the alien communications, leaving the invaders disorganized and vulnerable. Finally, with one last, thunderous explosion, the mothership's energy core was breached. The ship's massive structure buckled, and in a dazzling burst of light, it exploded, raining debris down over the battlefield. The Drekken were defeated. As the smoke cleared, Donovan, Thompson, and Carter stood amid the wreckage, their breaths ragged but victorious. The aliens had come to Earth expecting to enslave humanity. Instead, they had learned a harsh lesson. Humans, particularly Americans, were not prey. They were predators. In the command bunker, General Garcia watched the sky, now free of alien ships. The war was over, but the message was clear. Earth would never again be an easy target. America had shown the galaxy what it meant to be an apex predator.